Welcome, welcome. Great to have you all here. Thank you for being here. So glad there's so many people who are passionate about economic development in Geneva. Thank you all for being here. My name is David West. I'm the Director of Planning and Economic Development for the city, also Executive Director of the IDA in the LPC. Can I have people raise their hands? I'm going to walk through the partner organizations that are involved in this. So there are 4 groups that are involved in this. The first is my department. It's me, Katya. Liz is not here. And that's it for everybody. The next is the IDA. You're on the IDA board. Right? You have Lowell, Dan, Ann, Catherine, and Irene. Thank you for being here. The LPC. Also, Catherine, Marty, and that's it for all these speakers tonight. And if you're on council, why don't you raise your hand, Phil? A few counselors here. All right, thank you all for being here. Great to see everyone else who's not a part of those groups, because our task here is really guiding the work that we go going forward. And we really want to be open with the community and with our neighbors about what we're thinking about, what we're doing, and come up with a strong idea of what we think we're going to do in the next few years. So I'm going to walk through a few slides. My friend Gary here is going to do a little more presentation. He's our consultant for this project. He's going to walk through what he's doing. And then a fair amount of the night is going to be spent in conversation with the people at the table, questions. We're going to be brainstorming some ideas, thinking about the challenges that we face. And all of this is going to feed into our plans moving forward. I'm going to start with this question. Right, we're all here tonight for a talk about economic development planning, our economic development strategy. What does that mean? What is it? In a nutshell, it's one thing. It's the quality of life for people in Geneva. It drives everything. If we are a wonderful place to live, businesses will locate here. Tourists will come here. Our economy will grow. If this is not a wonderful place to live, none of that stuff works. You cannot have great tourism in a place that people don't want to live. You cannot have great businesses in a place where people don't want to live. So the foundation of economic development for us is giving people a great quality of life in the city. Things that people want to see. This is an example of it. So who's doing that? We just walked through our 4 partners. This strategic plan has 4 partners: the Geneva Business Improvement District, the Geneva Local Development Corporation, the Geneva Industrial Development Agency, and the City of Geneva Planning and Economic Development Department. Those are the partners in this plan. They are not at all the only people doing economic development work. Tons of organizations are involved in the economic development of it. I'm going to run through them quickly and not talk about all of them a lot. The Ontario County Economic Development Department and the Ontario County IDA. Cornell Agritech, the Center for Excellence for Food and Agriculture. Hobart William Smith, our host in this great room tonight. Finger Lakes Community College, Chamber of Commerce, all of them. Visit Finger Lakes, Geneva 2030, Blueprint Geneva. All of the small businesses and nonprofit organizations, all of the big businesses and big nonprofit organizations, and all of you. We're all engaged in this every day. The way we choose to spend our dollars, the way we choose to live our life, that is all economic development. So how does it work? How do we improve economic development in the city? How do we improve the quality of life for people? There's a few basic things that we need to do. We need to have a clear direction and be working together on that direction. We need to work steadily. None of this happens fast. It's many small wins over a long period of time. We have to build partnerships with each other, with organizations, coalitions of neighbors. Working together is how this all happens. It's not just the people who raise their hands. It's all of us together. We need to make smart investments. We need to market our community based on assets and value. and we need to build businesses locally. Now, I started with how does economic development work? I want to talk very briefly about how it doesn't work, because there are a lot of misconceptions. I hear them every day. And so I just want to walk through what doesn't work. It doesn't work to run in a new direction with every news cycle, every election, every development offer. You can't be going in different directions all the time just because something new came up. We can't rely on one or even a few big projects. There are no silver bullets in economic development. We need the broad swath of projects. We throw everything at one huge idea. We've done it before multiple times and we've seen it. Throw a lot at something and then it falls apart, right? Because it's fragile, because it can only exist with all of that stuff we're throwing at it. We can't work in silos. We need to be involved together. You can't just do really big businesses and not think about the small businesses. You can't just think about exporters and not think about our community development nonprofits, the community serving organizations. And we can't give away the farm. It doesn't work to market ourselves as the city who will give away the most, who will make our land the cheapest, who will give you the most tax breaks, the most incentives. There's always going to be something to do more. So if we're saying that that's our strategy, we're going to have the most giveaways. Someone's going to come in and steal whatever we get with that strategy. So we have to be conscientious about the way we invest. And then finally, I hear this all the time. It does not work to cold call national businesses. Those businesses have entire departments, site selection departments, who are looking at communities and data. They know where they want to be. They know how far apart they want to be. They're searching all the time. They have professionals who do nothing but that. They're not waiting for me to say, hey, did you know Geneva's a really cool place? Sometimes we can get small wins that way. I'm always out there talking to people. I'm listening to community members and people are making connections. Sometimes we can bring in small things. Sometimes we can bring in big things that way. But as a strategy, spending a lot of time just calling up a big business, it's not going to work. So plans. We are not here to come up with a whole new direction for the city. Like I said earlier, what works is a slow and steady work in one direction. We've done a lot of planning, so many plans. I'm going to go through a few of them quickly. I couldn't fit them all on one slide. We have a comprehensive plan, a brownfield opportunity area greenway plan, lakefront amenities plans, neighborhood studies, economic opportunity, active transportation, lakefront and downtown connectivity, waterfront infrastructure feasibility study, so much more. I tried to even just get a picture of all of them on one page, but I couldn't do it. There's a table in the back there with a whole bunch of plans from my office. All of these are important, and we're working on pieces of pretty much all of these. There's so much to do. We can't do it all right now. And so the purpose of thinking about what is our strategy, what's the strategic plan, is what pieces of these are most important to you right now. What are the things that we are ready for, that people are excited about committing to, that you and your neighbors are ready to lend a hand in, that there's support for, that we can move forward on. I do want to spend just a quick minute talking about our most important plan, the plan that has the most community backing behind it, that the most work went into, and that is the comprehensive plan. And it means just that. It incorporates a little bit of everything. A lot of cities, unfortunately, have quite old comprehensive plans. Ours is actually quite young. Having a comprehensive plan that was adopted in 2016, it seems like a while ago now, but it's pretty good. You know, I've worked with places that were finally getting to an update of their plan from 1970. That's not uncommon at all. And I've worked with places that never even had a comprehensive plan. This is the fundamental guiding document for zoning changes, for investment, for the direction that we want our community to go. And so we have this 2016 plan and we have a 2019 update to it that said, this is all the things we said we were going to do. This is the stuff we've done, and this is what we have left to do. Just because I hear people say sometimes, hey, I didn't know about the comprehensive plan, how do I know that that was a good community process that is the way forward for us? I want to say a little bit about that process. I wasn't here. I have been with the city for almost a year now, but this process was led by had a consultant guiding it, but was led by committees. There was 25 committee members. They had monthly meetings, and then they had a homework for small community discussions. And a lot of activities. There was a survey with 675 participants. They were small group dialogues with over 120 participants, 30 volunteers, collaborated with a group called Tools for Social Change. This plan has a lot of people's fingerprints on it, and I think it's a very good plan. It culminated in the decision-making framework. So here's how it works. Started with values. What are this community's values? And there's 5, if I can, right? The special natural setting, Geneva's unique urban character and sense of community, our multicultural heritage, our arts, architectural, and recreational assets, and strong economy. So taking those values with our principles were Geneva must prioritize. That's why we're here tonight. We can't do everything. We have to decide what it is that we're going to focus on. We need to be financially strong, environmentally sustainable, and leverage citizen creativity and strengths. And for being that's what you're here for. And that all leads to our vision. So our vision for Geneva is to be beautiful, prosperous, equitable, connected, and sustainable. We have to talk more about those another time. But I want to get to some of the meat and potatoes here. The plan comes up with 5 priorities and several initiatives. So the main priorities that have been identified for this community are focusing on downtown and the lakefront, corridors. So the corridors are the North Extreme Street corridor, Hamilton Street, and Castle Street, where we identified those are really important focus. Improving the quality of housing stock and options available, and economic advancement. So with those in mind, the initiatives were focusing on downtown critical mass. This being the key, most important factor that we have a strong downtown. So much work has gone into that. You know, Geneva today, compared to 5 years ago and 10 years ago, the downtown is really prospering. It's really amazing to see the change that's happening. And that connection between downtown and the waterfront has been huge. The next is James Street and Hamilton Streets, gateway corridors. So these are the main ways into the city. The other places that we want to see things urbanized, increase the density. They're currently mostly commercial, with an opportunity to bring in more in those areas. Great Geneva amenities, focusing on the lakefront and the things that really give us great assets, the lakefront downtown. And then the Capitol Street residential corridor. So that corridor was identified as both having really healthy neighborhood that makes sense to continue investing in. Some areas where we can make big change with small dollars. Also, the environmental need of we have issues with Castle Creek, right? With floods, we have concerns. All of that needs to be addressed. And then finally, the economic opportunity task force, which was called for here, that was supposed to meet quarterly. We're going to bring that back. We're going to meet quarterly in my office. This all ties together. All right. Talk about the priority areas. So what is being done? I was going to talk about everything that's been done already and then what we're doing now. And I started putting together just the slides of what we're doing now, and I thought we'd hear on them. So I'm going to talk about what we're doing now. We're not going to talk about what we've done. So things that the various partners involved here are working on. And they're not all here, but I tried to get a good representation. The bid has been doing great work around kayaking, hosting Paddle Fest. Been working with the Canal Corporation to increase activity on the waterfront and bring in grants as well. We're working on a community development block grant for housing to repair homes owned by low-income homeowners in our neighborhoods that need assistance. We're working to build a Geneva Review Center, working with the town and the county. The group has formed a nonprofit corporation that is bringing that forward. We have a micro enterprise assistance program. This is a grant program for small businesses. We're towards the end of the current period and we'll be applying for new money. The state's granted us at best. But I was previously called that. We have the city's revolving loan fund. So this is a fund to help businesses invest in new technology, upgrades to their equipment, and it's things that you couldn't get a regular bank from. The IDA also owns the Geneva Enterprise Development Center, the former American Can Factory. It's 200,000 square feet of mix of office and residential space. It's a big project for the IDA. It needs a lot of work. It has a lot of great companies. It needs a lot more great companies. We're currently embarking on an engineering study of that property to figure out everything it needs so that we can make good decisions about it going forward, whether that's getting grants to fix it or bringing in someone else to do it. What else? We just launched, the lakefront now has 2 paddlecraft storage racks where residents can rent space and store a kayak. I have mine down there. It's great. I can just walk down and take a little paddle there and watch. My department runs the Geneva's Farmers Market and also the Lakefront Concert Series. We're working on the North End redevelopment strategies. This involves not only trying to reuse some of the underutilized space there, but including city-owned space, but also the Greenway plan that is turning the elevated rail into a trail. And that's in partnership with Blueprint. There's only one more slide after this, so please forget. So we're working on selling unused city property to get it back out, able to be built on. We're really hoping that those assets can become something better, something that's not just lawns for more people, but houses, additional businesses in the city. The bid hosts Downtown First Friday and Garlic Festival, the Winter Arts Festival, Film Festival. My department manages the conference room at the Finger Lakes Welcome Center and Finger Lakes Welcome Center in partnership with the state. And then we recently completed a Restore New York application that included a bunch of really great properties that we're looking to have developed. The Dias property, the Sales School, the Women's Club, 317 Seneca, and also 435 Exchange. Is that right, Bob? Got it. So I'm going to turn it over to Gary. I'm going to leave you thinking about what we're doing here. This is where should we focus, and where are you ready to help? Not something we can do alone. We're looking forward to working with you. So I want to introduce Gary Ferguson. He's a consultant and was brought here through a competitive process. We had a bunch of applicants, a great team of representatives from each of the 4 organizations. We reviewed those applications. Gary stood out high above everyone else. Very happy to have him here. He's going to walk through what he's doing and what we're doing.
All right, well, thank you. It's a pleasure being here with you folks. Let me quickly go through these, and I want to get to know we talked about the partners, that. David already talked a little bit about why economic development, but these are some of the things that I always think are very, very important. We're growing the tax base of the community, but we're doing a whole lot of things. Adding development to the community, providing employment opportunities, attracting investment and new residents. Retaining and growing existing investment, and nurturing a sense of community thought. All that kind of factors into my definition with economic development. So that's sort of my ground rules in terms of how we see it. I see it trying to work together. Here's the process of what's been going on with this work that will end end up with this, strategy. I don't call it a plan because it's not really a strategy. And I've been in the process of interviewing community stakeholders. So far, I've done 17, I've been 18. So I mean, we've got a bit more to go through, and by the time we're done with this, I'll have to come 2025. That's a pretty good number. It's far more than we originally anticipated. Reviewing existing plans. I mean, part of what the goal here is not to recreate something that's already done. So we're going to be learning, understanding what all this plans are all about. We have taken a look at procured some new consumer data, 2024, for Geneva County, gives us a good look of exactly what's going on right now, right today. And the working group will be working with us on this note down the road. We'll dig into this pretty deeply. And meeting with partner groups, and we've been, have a big survey. One of the, if you haven't taken the survey yet, there's a piece of paper on your table that has that link to it. Please take that survey. Again, it's another data point that will help us get some input on what we feel is important, what you all feel is important. We're just about to start a planning report session. That's going to be going on for about a month. Almost every week to 10 days, we'll be having a work session. That's going to end up with a draft strategy, and we'll be back here at some point to do a public presentation and get some feedback about the draft and figure out again how we want to move forward with this in this strategy process. So that's really what we want. That's what it's all about. Priorities for this last year, and roles and tasks for everybody as well. Who's going to be doing what? And that's really critical. Just quickly, steps getting up. Based on a lot of the discussion I've been having with organizations, with people, these are some of the trends that these are some of the things that I wanted you all to keep in mind as go back. This is a bit of a national. These are some things that are going on right now that Geneva can't do anything about. We have to work within these constraints. As you know, you think you have a great manufacturing sector here. The manufacturing sector is subject to inputs that are beyond the scope of where we sit today, right? Upstate tourism rebounded, national retail in flux, say the least. You know, it's certainly true, and it's something that will affect this community and will affect the food and beverage sector. Hampered by labor shortfalls here in Geneva and everywhere across the United States. Particularly medical sector experiencing a lot of mergers going on. Obviously, we're seeing part of that happening here in the educational sector, facing cost of educating students getting more and more expensive, and it's having a profound impact on that. So, you know, everybody in that sector has to think. In the nonprofit sector, it's amazing how fast it's growing in the United States. It's also facing uncertainty income opportunities. Even as it's growing, its sources of income get more and more constrained. Those are some things we just have to think about and go forward. I talked about the updated 2024 demographics. I don't know sure I'm looking at, I got to put a comment on this one that along. But things you probably already know. Geneva City population continues to slowly decline. Regional population has been growing. Number of households in the city, though, has been growing into. The population has been slowly declining. Number of city households is increasing. Smaller households. City population in the first county. Again, something we already know. City population is not. In part because of the affiliation with education. But also because younger people want to think. The city population is also aging, and it's a lot of younger population relative to others. Just like every other place in the United States, the age cohorts are moving, and baby boomers are getting becoming older and older, and that's becoming it's showing up in population aging. Your city housing stock is significantly older than the county. Again, sort of a record, the sense of when Geneva was at its prime relative to the next place in the county. The household income lower than the county, and interestingly, travel work times are significantly shorter than the city of county, which is a good thing. So it's just some of the trends, keep those in mind and think about it, but those are the facts that it's not factor into. Okay. How do you make it work? Just really quickly, and I want you guys to spend more time on this today. And these are some of the things that began to come out when I talked to people so far. Great manufacturing sector, agri-tech, have a tremendous opportunity here. Education, medical, one of the big sectors in this community. Both housing and commercial property prices. I'm sure people here, as I'm starting to look at some of the responses on the survey, there's some people who are not happy with housing prices. Relatively speaking, compared to other places, those actually happens on. And then tourism, you have tremendous challenges that I've heard so far from folks. These kind of go together. A lot of self-acceptance, personally, sort of the second city status, well, the second city in our county. And it's a challenge. It's a challenge to overcome. Limited resource base. That's an issue. You're only so big, and you only generate so much revenue. That's a real challenge. K-12 education percentage, the aging housing stock, and then not yet having a agreed upon long-term strategy and process for trying to pull all this together. Those are some of the ideas as we start putting together that I'll be working on as we kind of go through the work sessions with our working group. I want to stop spending too much time on them. But here, what I want to do now is get you started. Assuming our technology works, and it may not. So we're gonna warm up. We're gonna warm you all up. You need you to answer one question. We have you at tables because if we were to do this all in a group setting, 4 or 5 of you talking, everybody else will go. I didn't get a chance to talk. So we really have divided up smaller sections, even back there, divide up the smaller sections, and then collect responses to some of these questions. In this, for this first couple, does everybody have a cell phone? Hopefully, most of you have a cell phone. If you do, you can do this. If you don't, that's the technology. But take your cell phone and go to slido.com. Also over here. Yeah. And when you get there, you'll want to put that right there. And you'll see there's a place you can put a participant code. That's the participant code. Put that in.
Want me to read the code?
Yeah.
It is 365 4801. Then 365 4801.
when you get there, once you get in that, you'll see that you go to question and answers or polls, or poll. And you should be the first question should be up there right now. There you go. Ah. Yeah. David, what is so, put your answer into that first question. Where are we putting our answer?
Anybody having problems?
Take another minute or two on that. As you can see, those of you who can see the screen, I'm sorry for people back here. It's more of a challenge. Your answers are coming up on the screen, and as people start repeating, you'll see them start showing up. Well, do one thing, because we're going to do one. The idea is to just kind of, let's get a sense of what it means to say. Last chance to put something in. But then, and it will take whatever you give it. But a couple things got are repeatable, walkable, community friendly, like then we have different things that show like walk downtown, small, charm, population diversity, and community, engage, activation, potential for opportunity, intelligence, engagement, engagement, lots of different things are coming up here. Change beauty. Okay. Let's find out. Hang on, let me get started. All right, next question is what do you like least about living, working? Take a minute, put your results. This is an open text, so this is just listed as one. Yeah, take a couple minutes. We'll pull all this together because we will take David will have extra. As you can see, some of you can see this better than others. Some of the issues, some of the questions, negative, negative.
People on your street.
What's that?
They can scroll through the answers on the cross.
Well, they can. Yeah. But one. Winter shopping, taxes, internet banking. What do we buy? right. Let's do one more. Here's a multiple choice. What block? And then we've got a couple different, and you choose from. Should be live. Oh, I'm here we go. Thank you. In real time, if you watch it through the. It's a- Everybody, one more minute? Anybody have more time or else? Okay, in this case, number one, probably the largest one, which is concerned about the future of the neighborhood. Desire to get help, maybe in that. And then economic development, gain a better understanding. Okay.
I think this is really great because it's a synopsis of what I've experienced in Geneva in my first year here. The two biggest feelings that people have, gosh, I'm worried, and boy, do I want to help. So, oh, gosh, I'm worried,
Yeah.
and boy, do I want to help.
Oh, help.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes, sir.
Besides, let's see, what's really about, the end of your presentation, last we saw. I think we did some stuff. Okay, I think it's a concern. That is one, you minimize the population decline. You say it's a little bit, but in 2000, it's 13,600. In 2020, it was 2010, it was 13,200. 2020 is 12,800. Okay, but then you talk about a little bit about financing, that's great. And the thing is that I think one of the opportunities that's in that one of those slides there is how to address the financial problem that the city is in. Okay, if you do a benchmark study, Geneva will emerge in New York State as one of the most heavily taxed municipalities in New York State, with an $18+ per thousand tax rate on the general budget. That's not including school. This is a serious issue. We have to look at what are our cost structures in the city of Geneva. So we look at certainly all the